Have you ever noticed something strange? A person says they want success, yet they procrastinate. They say they want confidence, yet they avoid every situation that could build confidence. They say they want a better life, yet they continue repeating the same habits that created their current one. At first glance, it makes no sense. Why would someone sabotage the very things they claim to want? The answer lies deep within human psychology. Most people don't fear failure. They fear transformation, because transformation requires the death of the familiar self, and the mind hates uncertainty. Even when your current life is painful, your brain still sees it as safe. Safe because it is familiar. This is why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, habits that destroy them, not because they enjoy suffering, but because suffering they know feels safer than change they don't. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology. They knew that the greatest obstacle was rarely the world. It was the resistance within. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Yet most people spend their lives fighting outside events, blaming circumstances, blaming luck, blaming other people, while ignoring the battlefield within. And that battlefield is where every transformation begins. Because the moment you decide to become someone new, the old version of you begins to fight back. The lazy version, the fearful version, the comfortable version, the version that wants certainty, the version that wants immediate pleasure, the version that whispers, "Start tomorrow. You're not ready. Maybe later. What's the point?" And if you listen carefully, you'll realize something shocking. That voice isn't trying to help you grow. It's trying to keep you the same. Because growth requires discomfort. And comfort is the enemy of transformation. Why? Most people never change. This is where most people get trapped. Not because they lack potential, not because they lack intelligence, but because they misunderstand how change actually works. They believe change begins when they feel motivated. So they wait. They wait for the perfect Monday, the perfect month, the perfect opportunity, the perfect mood. But that day never arrives. And years pass. Then decades. And one morning they wake up and realize they are living the same life they were trying to escape years ago. The truth is brutal. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you feel unstoppable. Other days you feel exhausted. Some days you believe in yourself. Other days doubt consumes your mind. If your transformation depends on motivation, your transformation will never last. This is why the Stoics never trusted feelings. They trusted principles. They trusted discipline. They trusted action. Because action does not require inspiration. Action requires a decision. And every great transformation begins with a decision. Not a feeling. A decision. The decision to keep moving even when you don't feel like it. The decision to continue even when progress is invisible. The decision to stay committed when excitement disappears. Most people never change because they are addicted to intensity. They love the excitement of a new beginning, the new workout plan, the new goal, the new dream, the new version of themselves. But transformation is not built during moments of excitement. It is built during ordinary days, boring days, difficult days, days when nobody is watching, days when you feel nothing. That is where character is built. Marcus Aurelius did not become Marcus Aurelius because he felt motivated every day. He became who he was because he understood a timeless truth. You become what you repeatedly do, not occasionally. Repeatedly. The person who reads 10 pages every day will eventually become knowledgeable. The person who exercises consistently will eventually become stronger. The person who practices self-control daily will eventually become disciplined. Small actions, repeated long enough, create extraordinary results. Yet most people ignore this because they want immediate transformation. They want quick results, quick confidence, quick success, quick happiness. But nature doesn't work that way. A tree does not become massive overnight. An oak spends years strengthening its roots before its greatness becomes visible. Human transformation follows the same law. What appears sudden is usually the result of years of invisible work. And this is why so many people quit too early. They underestimate what can happen in 5 years. But they overestimate what can happen in 5 days. They plant a seed, then dig it up every morning to check if it's growing. And when they don't see immediate results, they lose faith. The Stoic takes a different approach. He understands that progress is often invisible. He trusts the process. He focuses on today's actions, because today's actions create tomorrow's identity. Every single day you are becoming someone. The only question is, who? The disciplined version or the distracted version? The courageous version or the fearful version? The strong version or the comfortable version? Your future is being built right now. Not next year, not next month, not tomorrow. Today. In the choices nobody sees. In the decisions nobody applauds. In the habits nobody notices. This is where transformation lives. And this is why most people never change. They are searching for a dramatic breakthrough, while ignoring the quiet daily actions that actually create one. The greatest transformations are rarely dramatic. They are gradual, silent, invisible, until one day the world sees a completely different person and calls it an overnight success. What they never saw was the years of discipline that created it. What they never saw were the sacrifices, the failures, the lonely mornings, the difficult nights, the moments when quitting felt easier. Transformation is not glamorous. It is often lonely. Because while others seek comfort, you are choosing growth. While others seek distractions, you are choosing awareness. While others avoid discomfort, you are walking directly into it. And that is what separates extraordinary people from ordinary ones. Not talent, not luck, not intelligence, but the willingness to become uncomfortable for a future that does not yet exist. And that brings us to the next psychological trap that destroys more dreams than failure ever could. The comfort zone trap. There is a silent force that destroys more dreams than failure, more ambitions than rejection, more potential than bad luck. And most people never even realize it exists. That force is comfort. At first, comfort feels harmless. In fact, it feels good. Comfort tells you to rest when you should act. Comfort tells you to wait when you should move. Comfort tells you that tomorrow is a better day to start. And because its voice is gentle, most people listen, every day, for years, until one day they wake up and realize they have become a spectator in their own life. Think about it. How many people stay in jobs they hate? Not because they can't leave, but because leaving feels uncomfortable. How many people stay trapped in unhealthy relationships? Not because they are happy, but because loneliness feels unfamiliar. How many people postpone their dreams? Not because they lack ability, but because taking action feels risky. The comfort zone is not a place of happiness. It is a place of familiarity. And the human brain is designed to prefer familiarity over growth, even when familiarity causes suffering. This is one of the greatest psychological paradoxes of life. People often choose known pain over unknown possibility, known disappointment over uncertain opportunity, known mediocrity over uncertain greatness, because uncertainty creates fear, and fear makes comfort feel safe. But comfort has a hidden cost, a cost most people never calculate. Every year you spend avoiding discomfort. You become a weaker version of yourself. Every opportunity you refuse because of fear, confidence shrinks. Every difficult conversation you avoid, courage weakens. Every challenge you run from, your potential remains undeveloped. Little by little, day by day, you begin trading greatness for convenience. And the tragedy is that it happens so slowly that you hardly notice. A ship does not sink because of one wave. It sinks because water slowly enters over time. The same is true for human potential. People rarely ruin their lives in a single moment. They ruin them through small acts of avoidance repeated for years. One excuse, one delay, one comfortable decision at a time. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. As Emperor of Rome, he could have chosen comfort. He could have hidden behind luxury. He could have avoided responsibility. Instead, he chose hardship. He chose discipline. He chose duty. Because he understood a truth that most people spend their lives trying to avoid. A comfortable life does not create a strong mind. A strong mind is created by facing discomfort willingly. This is why the Stoics practiced voluntary hardship. Sometimes they slept on hard surfaces. Sometimes they wore simple clothing. Sometimes they deliberately gave up comforts they could easily afford. Why? Because they wanted to train themselves to remain strong when life became difficult. They understood that comfort is addictive. The more you depend on it, the weaker you become. Imagine two people. The first avoids every challenge. The second embraces them. Years later, their lives look completely different. Not because one was luckier, not because one was more talented, but because one grew stronger while the other remained comfortable. Growth and comfort cannot occupy the same space for long. Eventually you must choose. Do you want an easy present or a powerful future? Because every meaningful transformation requires temporary discomfort. Every single one. Want confidence? You must risk embarrassment. Want success? You must risk failure. Want respect? You must earn it through discipline. Want growth? You must leave what is familiar behind. There is no shortcut, no secret formula, no magical solution. The path has always been the same. Walk toward the discomfort. Walk toward the challenge. Walk toward the thing that scares you. Because on the other side of fear, you often find the life you've been searching for. The irony is that people spend years trying to avoid discomfort, yet they eventually experience a far greater pain. The pain of regret. The pain of wondering what could have been. The pain of unrealized potential. And that pain is far heavier than temporary discomfort. Imagine yourself 20 years from now. Looking back, what will hurt more? The fear you faced, or the opportunities you never pursued? The mistakes you made, or the dreams you never attempted? Most people fear failure, but wise people fear regret. Because failure teaches. Failure strengthens. Failure transforms. Regret only haunts. And this is why the Stoics believed that courage was one of the highest virtues. Not because courage eliminates fear, but because courage acts despite it. The courageous person is not fearless. He simply refuses to let fear make his decisions. He understands that discomfort is not the enemy. Stagnation is. Growth begins where comfort ends. Transformation begins where excuses end. And self-mastery begins the moment you stop asking, "How can I stay comfortable?" and start asking, "What must I do to become stronger?" That question changes everything, because the answer always leads in the same direction, forward. into uncertainty, into challenge, into growth, into the person you were capable of becoming all along. And now we arrive at the most painful realization of all. The true cost of staying exactly where you are. Number, the cost of staying the same. There is something far more painful than failure. Something far more dangerous than rejection. Something that quietly destroys millions of lives every year. It is the decision to remain the same. Most people never think about this cost. They think about the risk of changing, the risk of failing, the risk of being judged, the risk of losing. But very few people stop and ask themselves a far more important question. What is the cost of never changing at all? What is the cost of spending another year trapped inside the same habits, the same fears, the same excuses, the same limitations? Imagine living the next 10 years exactly as you are today. The same mindset, the same routines, the same level of discipline, the same emotional reactions, the same fears controlling your decisions. Would your life improve? Or would it slowly become a larger version of the life you already have? This is the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. Time changes nothing. Time only reveals who you already are. A distracted person becomes more distracted. A fearful person becomes more fearful. A disciplined person becomes more disciplined. A courageous person becomes more courageous. Years do not transform people. Choices do. And every day you delay transformation. You are making a choice. You are choosing your future, not through action, but through inaction. One of the greatest tragedies in life is unrealized potential. Knowing deep down that you could have become more, done more, experienced more, contributed more, but never did. Not because you lacked ability, but because you waited. Waited for certainty. Waited for confidence. Waited for the perfect moment. And while you waited, life kept moving. Days became months. Months became years. Years became decades. And suddenly you find yourself standing face to face with regret. Not regret for what you tried. Regret for what you never dared to attempt. The dream you abandoned. The opportunity you ignored. The courage you never used. The life you never lived. The Stoics understood something most people discover too late. Death is not what makes life tragic. Wasted potential is. Because every human being enters this world carrying possibilities. Possibilities that can only become reality through action. And every day, you refuse to act. Those possibilities slowly fade. This is why self-transformation matters. Not because becoming successful is impressive. Not because becoming wealthy is impressive. But because becoming who you were capable of becoming is one of the highest responsibilities of life. You owe that to yourself. You owe that to the person you could become. And most importantly, you owe that to the limited time you've been given. Because one day this opportunity will disappear. One day the clock will stop. One day the chances you keep postponing will no longer exist. And when that day arrives, the only question that will matter is this: did you become the person you were meant to become? Or did fear convince you to settle for less? Number awareness changes everything. The beautiful thing about transformation is that it doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with awareness. The moment you become aware of your patterns, you begin to reclaim your power. The moment you see your excuses, they lose their control. The moment you recognize your fears, you stop being ruled by them. Awareness creates choice. and choice creates freedom. This was one of the greatest lessons taught by Marcus Aurelius. He understood that the mind is both the prison and the key. The same mind that creates fear can create courage. The same mind that creates weakness can create strength. The same mind that creates limitation can create freedom. Everything begins within, not outside, within. And once you understand this truth, your life can never be the same again, because now you see what most people never see. You see the invisible chains. You see the hidden stories. You see the unconscious patterns. And seeing them is the first step toward breaking them. You no longer have to remain the person you were yesterday. You no longer have to obey old beliefs. You no longer have to carry identities that no longer serve you. A new future becomes possible, not because the world changed, but because you changed. And that realization is where self-transformation truly begins. Right now, somewhere inside you, there are two versions of yourself. The first is the person you've always been, comfortable, predictable, familiar, the version created by years of habits, fears, and limitations. But there is another version, a stronger version, a wiser version, a more disciplined version, a version capable of far more than you've ever imagined. The battle between these two versions is happening every day, with every decision, every action, every excuse, every act of courage. The question is not whether transformation is possible. The question is, which version will you feed? Because whatever you feed grows, and whatever you neglect fades away. In part 2, we will explore the most difficult stage of transformation, the death of the old self. Why letting go of who you've been feels painful. Why growth feels uncomfortable. And how the greatest transformations in history began with the courage to leave an old identity behind. Because before you can become someone new, you must first be willing to release the person you've been. And that changes everything. The death of the old self. There comes a moment in every person's life when they face a choice. Not a choice between success and failure. Not a choice between wealth and poverty, but a choice between who they are and who they could become. Most people never recognize this moment. They continue living the same life, thinking the same thoughts, making the same decisions, repeating the same mistakes, year after year, because becoming a new person requires something most people are unwilling to do. It requires letting go of the old one. And that is where transformation becomes painful. Because human beings become attached to their identities. Even painful identities. Even limiting identities. Even destructive identities. A person may spend years calling himself unlucky. And eventually, he becomes attached to the story. A person may spend years believing he lacks confidence, and eventually he begins protecting that belief, because identity creates certainty, and certainty feels safe, even when it keeps you trapped. This is why real transformation often feels like loss. You are not merely changing habits. You are saying goodbye to a version of yourself that has existed for years. And every goodbye carries discomfort. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that growth always demands sacrifice. Not necessarily the sacrifice of money or possessions, but the sacrifice of illusion. The illusion that you are your past. The illusion that your mistakes define you. The illusion that yesterday determines tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius refused to be imprisoned by the past. Every morning, He reminded himself of who he wanted to become, not who he had been. Because the past is a teacher, not a prison. Read that again. The past is a teacher, not a prison. Too many people carry old failures like chains. They relive old embarrassments, old betrayals, old regrets, old disappointments, again and again, as if suffering over them will somehow change them. But it never does. It only steals the present. The Stoic asks a different question. Not, why did this happen to me? But, what can this teach me? That question changes everything. Because suddenly, pain becomes wisdom. Failure becomes education. Rejection becomes redirection. And adversity becomes training. The moment you begin seeing life this way, you stop being a victim of your experiences and become a student of them. That is where power begins. Every transformation begins with destruction. The old beliefs must fall. The old excuses must fall. The old fears must fall. The old identity must fall. Only then can something stronger emerge. Imagine a sculptor standing before a block of stone. He does not create the masterpiece by adding. He creates it by removing. Removing what does not belong. Removing what hides the potential within. Your transformation works the same way. You don't need to become someone else. You need to remove what is preventing you from becoming yourself. The fear, the excuses, the laziness, the self-doubt, the need for approval, the endless overthinking. These are not your identity. They are obstacles covering your identity. And every act of discipline removes another layer. Every courageous action removes another layer. Every honest moment of self-reflection removes another layer. Until one day, the person you were meant to become finally appears. The Stoics had a phrase, Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. Modern society avoids this truth. The Stoics embraced it. Not because they were pessimistic, but because they understood something profound. Nothing creates clarity like mortality. One day your worries will disappear. One day your fears will disappear. One day your excuses will disappear. One day your life itself will disappear. So why spend your precious years living in fear? Why spend your limited time seeking approval from strangers? Why spend your life becoming less than what you're capable of becoming? Death gives urgency to life. Death reminds us that every day matters. Every conversation matters. Every decision matters. Every moment matters. The person who remembers death begins living differently. They stop delaying. They stop waiting. They stop wasting time. Because they understand something most people forget. Life is happening now, not someday. Now. The psychology of self-transformation is not complicated. It is difficult. Because it asks you to take responsibility. To stop blaming circumstances. To stop blaming luck. To stop blaming other people. And to finally look inward. The quality of your life will always reflect the quality of your mind. Change your thinking. Change your actions. Change your identity. And, eventually, you change your life. The transformation you seek is not somewhere in the future. It begins with the next decision you make. The next thought you choose to believe. The next action you choose to take. And that is the beauty of self-transformation. It does not require permission. It does not require perfect conditions. It only requires a decision. A decision to stop living as the person you were and start becoming the person you can be. Years from now, you will look back on this chapter of your life And you will either be grateful that you chose growth, or regret that you chose comfort. The choice has always been yours. Not fate's, not society's, yours. So, when this video ends, don't just feel inspired. Act. Take one step. One difficult step. One courageous step. One honest step. Because that single step may become the beginning of an entirely new life. And remember, you don't become extraordinary in one day. You become extraordinary through the choices you make every day. If this message resonated with you, comment, "I choose growth." Like this video and subscribe to Stoic CEO for more timeless wisdom and powerful lessons on self-mastery. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay resilient, stay stoic.